Alright, so getting started here, first thing that you're going to want to do for this is to actually depress this drive shaft this way. It's spring loaded, so you'll pull it down this way, pull the, if you have this bearing, the center support bearing, pull it out, push down, it should pop out, and then pull forward. So the second thing we need to do is there's a hex right here, 2.5mm hex. And just in case if anybody was wondering, this taped off area right here, that's just Gorilla Tape. It's just to cover up a couple of these holes that are here to recenter or install your servo. There's a hole there to actually get to where it connects to the Arrma or belt crank, and yeah, no, rocks get in there, it's bad. I still haven't really figured out the one that's right here. It's very hard to see, but there is one that is down in there, right through there where the arm goes. Now I haven't really figured out the best way outside of just putting tape over it and letting the arm just kind of push it out of the way, but down in there I currently have little pieces of foam. Let's see, it's kind of hard to really see down in there, but I have little pieces of foam that I've cut up and just kind of packed in the area. But once you get that bottom screw off the bottom of the chassis, just take the strap, grab it from the actual bracketed end, not this end. You'll just be pulling and fighting against yourself. So grab from the end closest to this little red bracket here, pull away from you, comes right off. And I'm not even going to bother actually taking it apart the rest of the way. I'm just going to let it flop around right there. Now, in order for me to actually get everything unplugged on my module, I am going to have to open up this. Unlike my other ones, I didn't leave an external plug to actually separate. So, in order to get through there, just undo this little bracket, leave this over here. This was originally in a Traxxas system. I already had that. I had some batteries and adapters, so I could just use it. Plus, I knew that this was going to be changed out, and I might just be putting this inside of my Slash Raptor that I have. I don't know. I think I want a little bit more speed out of it, so I think this Castle Sidewinder kit will go in there. But all I need to do is undo the two 2mm hexes on either side of the receiver box. So anyway, once we got that off, we get this out, we need to take out those two screws, just pull this box cover over, because I'm not sure exactly what order I have them inside of the little grommet here, but I do know that I have to rewire it anyway. So this one is to the cooling fan, so we'll plug that, so we'll be able to just pull the power module out. I plan on keeping this fan and heatsink just on the motor anyway. I have another one for the BLX 100 and the motor that's going to come. I have another one to put on that, so I'm not worried about making sure this cooler stays with this truck. Just get the ESC itself unplugged. And I was testing out things like down here in the receiver because I swap out electronics a lot. I thought I was trying command strips. They work, but I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of loose and wobbly in there. It doesn't hold it securely to the bottom. So if you do a lot of bashing, don't use command strips. I doubt that they're going to actually hold. On my Mojave, I did that. I've already had to undo the command strips because the receiver actually just came off of the mount. So just bumping and things like that. It's not a very good secure hold, so I wouldn't I wouldn't use it. I tried it, didn't work, didn't do what I thought it would. So back to Gorilla double-sided tape. See, it was just lifting up just then, and I barely pulled on this wire. So now that we have this, we'll unplug the bullets to the ESC, and there we go. Got the ESC out. Maybe later what we'll do is probably, like I said, put this in the slash maybe. I think slash 2-wheel drive. It's a 4600 kV motor, so I think that the 2-wheel drive is fine. I want to say it's like for touring or short course that's under a certain weight, and I want to say it's like 5, and I know that the slash is definitely under this. It's completely rounded off. Now a little background. This Senton came to me inoperable, full of sand, pounds of sand, wouldn't roll. If you tried to roll it across this table, it would just slide across. Like all 4 wheels would not move. Steering, forget about it. The servo wasn't the problem, but everything else was. The actual whole steering area was completely packed in. I mean, the sand was hardened up, and it was packed underneath the motor. The motor wouldn't turn, the wheels wouldn't turn. Literally, they wouldn't roll, even like that. They were solid and would just slide, and then just nothing out of the front. But so it's came a long way. However, there are some things like the rusted up screws and everything here and there that I do keep replacing. So like that, now that I've extracted it, it's not going back in. Why? Because if I try to put that back in with it stripped out now, I'm probably never going to get it off the next time. It's at the point where it needs to be replaced. Otherwise, it may not come back off without drilling and doing all that. It's a screw, 2mm hex, throw a different one in. Don't just keep reusing stripped out hexes, because eventually you'll do that, and I probably shouldn't have done it because I'm starting to strip the tip on my tools. So then, once we have everything kind of disconnected, you got the screw out of the bottom, you got that taken out, you got the drive shaft. You're going to pull up on the rear of the power module. And what I like to do is just pull up good and sturdy. And if you lay it back down, it'll usually rest right on the edge of the other part of the clip. Take something flat like a screwdriver. Don't pry. Twist the screwdriver. Slide it in here somewhere. Right here. Just anywhere. Twist. Not pry. Go back, twist. Go back, twist. And pull from the bottom. It'll come right out. This is actually the 4600 kV. That is definitely not meant for an all-wheel drive truck that weighs this much. But what we're going to do next is we're going to end up taking this out. That way we can go ahead and transplant this into, like I was saying, the slash or something. Alright, so now all we gotta do is take apart the actual power module and take our motor and slipper assembly apart. So you can probably put your thumb right here on the spur, just kind of hold it still. Nothing metal, you don't want to mess around, you don't want to mess up any of the teeth on it. Good enough. So I'm not actually going to take that all off right now. I was just getting it right to the edge. You Go ahead and pull this front cover off, and the whole slipper assembly can come out. Like I was saying, I already know that this is going to be replaced, but if you actually wanted to take apart the slipper assembly, all you really have to do is push this back in, because you don't have to take that off. Then you'll take this nut off, keep track of that bearing, because there is a bearing there. See, I don't have all my tools with me, but there is a very small, I don't think my crappy camera will focus on that, but there is a pin down in there that once you knock that pin out, this will come off, and then your clutch pad is underneath, and there you go. Put it back on, same as reverse. This one is actually really simple. Now I do have to I am going to, I don't know if I really have to, but I am going to be converting everything over to the 3S Spur assembly, so with the slipper, because this one isn't castellated and it's very rudimentary, and it slips a lot even when you tighten it down all the way. Depending on how much power you're actually running through it, it will still slip. The new one is designed a lot better as far as hold. Now, taking out the motor from here, looks like I need to clean everything up in here. Yeah, so I am running a 19 tooth pinion on this motor. I need to go through and rebuild it now. I don't know, it feels like there could be some dirt that's made its way down in there. Castle 4600 kV. Now I do have some videos showing it running. I do have to put all those together, but and that is with a 19 tooth pinion. And no, motor temps and ESC temps were fine. Just on some of these flat spots on this heatsink where it doesn't actually have any kind of direct flow, I tried to make sure that all these closed off areas on this heatsink have, what I had was thermal pads. So I put thermal pads there on each side on this flat spot, roughly, so that it would actually transfer heat to the heatsink better. Just because I know that that does actually work inside of a computer, it does help to transfer heat. So I pulled them out of a water block kit that I had. I want to say it was a heat killer water block for a 1080 Ti. Yeah. It was actually some of the heat pads or the thermal pads that were left over from that. So I put those on there, and honestly, I seen maybe 125. It was 90 degrees yesterday. 125 was the highest temp that I seen, and that was actually on the motor. It was 125. The ESC was like 124. It was about the same. So they were almost equalized out. It's actually kind of weird that they were equalized out like that. But yeah, no. Next we'll be removing the electronics out of the slash maybe, and then doing another video. I'm going to clean all this stuff up, but do another video of installing this into the slash. I am going to just set this in here for now. So it'll just free spin. Make sure your bearings are still all in place. Put everything back together. I'm not going to tighten these down. It away for later days. I'm not even going to bother putting the drive shaft all the way back on, but make sure that we get the bottom screw for that bracket. Got that, and then we have 2 for the actual motor to be mounted, and then we have the 2 for the actual ESC cover. Now, I will have to actually pull this off, but hopefully get it all off. Now it's getting clean. I do have a little piece for the switch here. Right there. Kind of holds it to the side of the actual ESC itself. I'll try to keep it there if I can. If not, I'll just move it somewhere close by. But I just usually mount it on the sides of the ESC. So we'll leave that there. Like I said, that'll change. I mean, yeah, the pinion will change, but I gotta rebuild this motor anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. So there we go.